Hello. So I am long overdue for an update on the tank. I'm sorry, but there's been a lot of other things going on in my life lately, and I just haven't had time to really do videos. And it's been a really long time since I've had anything new to point out or add to my tank, but that's changed recently. My Coral Beauty of 6 years just literally vanished overnight one night. Don't know what happened to it. As I said, I had the guy for 6 years, so it's not like it was just, a recent fish death or anything like that. So anyways, I was looking for a replacement, and I settled on this little African Flameback Pygmy Angel. Their coloration is gorgeous. They definitely stand out quite a bit. As you can see there, they have that sort of deep blue coloration on their body, and then that orange flame back over the head and the top of the back. But just absolutely gorgeous little fish. They also do have kind of the blue accents around the eyes and gills, kind of a little bit like a lemon peel does, which actually surprised me because I haven't noticed that before until I got this guy in my tank and got him under the lighting. So I've been interested in one of these for a long time, but of course, I didn't want to risk putting one in there with a territorial Coral Beauty who is well established, because that's a recipe for disaster. So anyways, but I had considered it, and this guy had happened to be on the stocking list for my local fish store, so it seemed like the perfect replacement. Now, I've only had him for a few days. Admittedly, my flame hawkfish over here has not been the kindest to him since I've added him to the tank. And on the first day, quite frankly, he just gave him a really hard time, chasing him all around and everything. So I was really worried I was going to have to remove an aggressive fish. The good news is it looks like that was just the initial, typical, establishing pecking order and territorial boundaries on the part of the flame hawkfish, because within the last day or so, he's really backed off and mostly leaves him alone. Occasionally, he'll do the, get out of my way sort of thing, but that's pretty much it now. So I was really worried about that initially, but he's hung in there, and the flame hawkfish, as I said, has backed off quite a bit. So that has been really nice. And being able to have this gorgeous little fish in there has been, as I said, I've just been really happy with the color it brings to the tank. The Coral Beauty has, has beautiful coloration as well and everything, but that orange on its head and its back on the flame back just really does pop quite a bit more in the tank. So, so it does stand out a bit more when it's out and about. Now, admittedly, he's a little camera shy, and he's still, kind of feeling his way around, getting used to the new tank and environment, because he's only been in here a few days. But just really, thus far, he's just kind of weaves in and out of the rock work, which is generally what they do. They do, like any pygmy or dwarf angel, it's a good idea to add these guys to a well-established tank, because by default they like to graze algae on the rock works and around the glass on the tank, particularly the kind of sort of brown like film algae. They really do like going for that stuff, and that's true of basically any pygmy or dwarf angel. They will go after those, and they like to graze on that. The good news is he also looks like he likes some hair algae on my power heads there, so definitely won't complain about that. He can eat all that he wants. So anyway, it is really best to add these guys to a well-established tank. That way, when they start out, they will start out grazing on algae. A lot of times, it might even be a few days before they even eat regular food, even something like LRS Reef Frenzy, or even eating, some like the seaweed that you put up there on the clip. So, as mentioned, that way it gives them something to eat and stay healthy while they're adjusting to life in the tank, and then trying to adapt to eating other foods. So once again, highly recommended. Wait until your tank's well established, then add a dwarf or pygmy angel, and you'll probably have a better chance of success. So as you can see there, you're just going around grazing, nipping on the rockworks, much like any other pygmy or dwarf angel would. Haven't had, as I said, from his end thus far, I haven't seen any aggression, but the good news is that my tank is in a situation where there's not a whole lot for this guy to really pick on or bully. A good luck trying to pick on the fox face. As you can see there, he's considerably larger and has venomous spines. And then, of course, the flame hawkfish has made it very clear that he's higher on the pecking order than everybody in the tank except the fox face. So, anyway, I would say that dwarf or pygmy angels, as long as you put them with larger fish that are maybe a little bit more assertive, that would be really good fit for these guys, because they can be a little bit aggressive and a little bit territorial, especially once they get established. So it's just a good idea in general, if you're looking at a pygmy or a dwarf angel, to try and get tank mates that are not necessarily aggressive, but ones that are going to stick up for themselves. I don't recommend ultra timid or small fish with them. Like if you were trying to put these guys in a tank full of like gobies or firefish or something like that, I would say that's probably not the best route to go. I tried doing that with the flame angel, and that blew up in my face. He was an aggressive jerk, and I had to get rid of him. So, and that was in my very first saltwater tank that I had. So, anyways, this is my third of the pygmy or dwarf angel varieties. I've had a flame for a brief period of time, had the coral beauty for a number of years, and now I've got this guy. As far as corals go, it's still too early to tell one way or the other. The only thing I've seen is that this blasto here, I've seen him once or twice go at the center where he just takes one little tiny nip and then he moves on. But I think that's more of maybe, like there's a pod or something on there. And as you can see here, it's definitely not hurting this little blasto frag at all. That thing's just all poofed out and everything. And it hasn't hurt it at all. So what you're looking for is the repeated nipping at the coral. If you see that going, then you're going to have to make a choice between either the coral or the fish, unfortunately, because once that starts, it doesn't get any better. But just the odd every once in a great while little nip is not going to affect anything. And as I said, a lot of times that's them like trying to eat like a little pod or something that's on the coral. And other fish are known to do that. I've seen that from some wrasses too, and it doesn't really harass or bother the coral much as long as it's not repeated. So, as I said, at this point, not really a whole lot to worry about. You just kind of keep an eye on them, like with any dwarf angels. It's with caution with corals, and it does vary based on the type of corals you keep. So I would say, realistically, if you were wanting 100% guarantee of being able to keep pretty much any angel, reef safe or not, you could basically do a multicolor mushroom coral tank like these guys, and I don't think you will ever have a problem with them causing any serious harm to the coral. I have yet to see one that has developed a taste or a liking for mushroom corals. So as I said, if you're looking for some kind of setup where you could basically almost guarantee that you could keep any kind of pygmy or dwarf angel, or even some that may not even be reef safe, that would be my best bet. The other advantage is because they're cheap and they grow really fast and spread really fast. Even if by some odd chance they did take a liking to them, you're probably not going to have too much of a problem, as far as being out a ton of money or anything. So anyway, but as I said, I will keep an eye on it. Thus far, no real problems with blastos, no mushrooms, Duncan, but it's still too early to tell one way or the other. So I will keep an eye on that, and I'll do that with an update. So anyway, that's really all I've got on this update with this brand new Flameback Angel. Really happy to have this little guy in the tank. My daughter also loves him, loves following around and seeing where he goes and what he does, and just really enjoys seeing this guy swimming around and doing his thing. And that's all I've got, and thanks for watching.